Hey everybody, my name is Justin and this is my 1-year review of my aluminum luggage. So specifically I have two 20-inch carry-on size suitcases. This one is from ENKLOZE and it's about $450 and I've had it for a full year. And this one is from AliExpress and it's actually a copy of Rimowa. I'm not 100% sure if that's how you say that, their brand name, but that's like a $1,100 aluminum suitcase, and this one was $200 from AliExpress. There is a decent price jump in between these two, so I just wanted to go over the quality of the two and see if it was justified, and maybe you'll get a feel of if either of these are right for you or if aluminum suitcase is right for you in general. So I would say the main thing with aluminum suitcases is how they look. Maybe I'll see 1 or 2 people carrying aluminum luggage while walking through an airport. So the unique factor is cool. You also have a really cool patina that they develop over time. I've seen a lot of reviews of people who have these and they'll be like, oh, after the first trip, I got this big dent in it, or oh, it has some scratches on it. But that's kind of one of the cool factors of this luggage is that you get a cool patina over time. I mean, I have a couple dents, scratches, and in my opinion, getting the raw aluminum form, not the painted form, is better because the paint just scratches off. There's not really any way to protect the paint when it's on just straight aluminum like that. And so when you have aluminum on metal contact like you do in airports, it just tends to scrape off the paint very easily. So I like this style. I'm sure there are people out there that like the very well worn look of paint coming off of it, but I like the dents more than the paint fade. So we'll start off with the handles. For the ENKLOZE, the handle feels really solid. Like while you're walking around with it, there's not too much play in it. And I'm definitely a stickler for handles. I've had handles break while walking through an airport and it's really annoying. So I wanted to make sure that the handle I got is 1, really sturdy, and then 2, can be repaired if it needs to be, which both of those are possible on the ENKLOZE because they're a US based company and they have like a 5-year warranty with their luggage. So another thing that I really like about this is it has like these little micro adjustments. It's not just like 1, 2, 3. It's like a little ratcheting mechanism in there, so it can be adjusted at any point, which is nice if you're walking with it, vertically, or if you go horizontally, or not really horizontally, but like walking on the front 2 wheels. It's a nice feature to have those little micro adjustments. I don't know what to call this one outside of the Alibaba suitcase, or we'll just call it the Chinese suitcase, even though I'm sure both of these are made in China. So the Chinese suitcase, the handle doesn't feel as premium. You might be able to see the movement. Well, I guess the movement's the same. It just kind of rattles, whereas this one doesn't really rattle. And then this one also only has those two adjustment pegs on it. So pretty limited amount of adjustment. And for my wife, it's actually, both the pegs are in like this weird spot. Like it's like a little bit too high and then the next one is a little bit too low. So there is something to be said about the micro adjustments of the ENKLOZE. The second thing I would go over is the look of the case and the thickness of the aluminum. I would say the thickness and the durability of the ENKLOZE is definitely higher. Like just pressing on it like this, it doesn't really move at all. It might have something to do with the overall shape, but when you press on the Chinese version, you probably get about, I would say like triple the amount of play. And the same thing goes with where this one hasn't been traveled in as much, but you can see this one has some bigger dents that it develops because I think it's because of the design. This one has a lot higher ridges, and so I feel like that gives it a lot more rigidity when it comes to like dents and things like that. Whereas this one just kind of has these little notches in them, and so it doesn't really protect it against like big movements like this. So I feel like it develops bigger dents as compared to this one. These are just kind of small dents that where it really hits the top of the ridge and just kind of pushes it in. So I'm not 100% sure how long aluminum shells last, but I have seen like people make posts where they bought them in the 70s and they've just used them forever. So they might still fall into the same category. They might just have different dent styles. Another thing on the outside, the Chinese version has this, like a luggage strap. So I think you can put like a handbag on there or something. We've never actually used that, but it does have it, whereas this one is just the shell. So there's no accessories. As far as the locking mechanism, the ENKLOZE is all metal and the Chinese version is plastic. They both function exactly the same though. While using this type of luggage with the hard shell, you do need to make sure when you lock these down for traveling, you put in your code, because I've had them where when I didn't put in a code, it will pop open, because I think there's so much pressure and they're so rigid that it needs to be locked into place. Whereas with a normal plastic shelled suitcase, you don't need to lock anything because it's not as rigid. There's some flex in the body. And then the wheels on both of these are really good. They both seem to have the same wheels, but the ENKLOZE again rolls a little easier. As far as the handles go, I feel the same type of action to them. When you let go, they do slam down. There's no type of resistance. Well, there is a resistance. It's springs to hold it down, but there's no resistance to stop it from slamming. One of the things with these suitcases is the handles on the side. They do get pressed in and they'll cause like a dent right under where the handle presses in at. So I think both of these, this one doesn't have it yet, but the ENKLOZE does. If I'm referring to them as mine and not mine, this is mine and this is my wife's. That's why I'm using those terms. So let's go ahead and check out the inside of both of these. So I guess the first thing is how much room do the handles take up on the inside and the wheel wells take up? And I would say on the ENKLOZE, they take up a little less. For some reason on the Chinese version, the bars stick up probably about 1.5 inches, and then on the ENKLOZE, it's probably 1 inch. So it's not like a huge difference. It might make for packing something hard like shoes or a laptop or something like that different. Both sides have these tie downs on the ENKLOZE, as well as this fixed organizer. So this one can't be taken out, but the one that was on the opposite side can be taken out, and it just has these little clips that can be held in place there. So for the Chinese version, there's no fixed straps like these. It does have an organizer that came on this side, but that is taken out. So this one has the Velcro straps that hold it down. It's definitely not as convenient as the ENKLOZE version, because you really gotta get it up and out of the way to use it. The ease of use is much easier on the ENKLOZE. These actually hold a surprising amount, even though they don't have any type of adjustment like some of the soft shell suitcases will, where they expand. These can be pressed on pretty hard to fit stuff down, since they're a very rigid, solid shell. Overall, my recommendation would definitely be the ENKLOZE. Even though it's double the price, I do feel like the extra features are worth it. I also like having the outside being a little different. Like when we walk around, I either see this type of shell, the Rimowa shell, or I see a Away aluminum shell. I haven't ever seen any of these walking around the airport. So it's just cool to have something a little bit different. And you get a lot of compliments on it. Like somebody will come up to me and be like, hey man, nice suitcase. Or if there's some type of special equipment, or just weird questions like that, whereas a normal suitcase, you wouldn't get that, which maybe that's a turnoff for some people. I'm an extrovert, so I'm perfectly fine with talking to people about it. So as long as you're aware of the wear and tear that happen on these aluminum bodied suitcases, I would definitely say make the jump. I have enjoyed carrying this type of suitcase more than any other kind that I've had in the past, and I've had plastics and the normal cloth suitcases. So I hope this review helped you make some sort of decision or gain more knowledge about aluminum suitcases. This is only my second review ever, so let me know what you liked about it or didn't like about it. Leave me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks.